Han MMA in Festus.
Han,
Yeah, I
Han.
remember.
Little Han MMA. I was there for about 5 years. It was like one of the only gyms I ever really trained at. And then I had my third amateur MMA fight, and I fought Luis Pena. Lost to him, and it was like one of the best things that ever happened to me because I had a horrible weight cut. Looked terrible, fought bad, and it was just exactly what I needed though to be able to prompt me. Yeah, 100%. It was like, oh look, bro, you just failed everywhere. Like you didn't do anything right. And I was like, if you want to do this like you say you want to do it, it's time to get on and get at it. You know, so like let's go. So I was so young and naive. I mean, I think the fight whenever I lost to Luis Pena, like a couple days before, I had just turned 19, and after the fight, I was like, bro, I'm moving to California. I had no real world experience with anything, and so I was literally just like, oh, I'm just gonna pack up my car and drive out there. You know, champions do that all the time, right? You just do whatever.
I heard George St. Pierre story. Like,
I figured that's what champions do, right? You just go do whatever you do by any means. By any means, I love that. I love that saying. It's so simple. By any means, you figure it out. Go get it done. And truly, man, you know what's so cool is like I feel like whenever you chase something with that kind of passion and that pursuit of just like by any means, God finds such a crazy way to make things just fall into place, bro. And so I was like, by any means, I started like raising some money. I was working my ass off. I saved up a couple grand, you know, and at the time it was a lot of money for me. And so I was about to hop in my car and head out to California. And like 2 weeks before I left, some family friends of mine heard that I was wanting to move out there. And they had just moved out a couple months before. And they were like, hey, we got an extra room here if you want to come live with us.
Yeah,
we live.
You gotta live in your
Crazy.
car.
Yeah.
Things work when you manifest them for real.
Yeah, for real. And then
behind
they were
it.
like, we live in Stockton, California. You know, we don't know if there's any gyms around here. So I immediately thought of the Diaz brothers in Stockton. And I looked it up, and they were like 3 miles from the Nick Diaz Academy. So I was like, oh, dude, that's meant to be. And a funny story with that, actually, I was moving out there, right? And everybody was like 2 weeks before I was leaving, my family friends hit me up and were like, hey, you can come live in Stockton. So I was like, oh, shoot, you know, let's check out the Diaz Academy. And everybody was like, yo, you should probably call them and like let them know you're coming. Or I was like, bro, I bet they get 1 million calls a day. Everybody wants to be a fighter. I was like, I'm not just gonna be another person that calls. Like, I'm just gonna show up. And I've always just thought about being undeniable. You know, it's just like if I work as hard as I possibly can, treat everybody well, and do everything that's expected of me, why would anybody say no? Like, I feel like that just doesn't make any sense. So I drove all the way out there, and the gym was closed, bro. Like shut down. Like they were still posting old videos of them training at the gym. So
you man, they still open. That's cool. Yeah,
bro. I was like,
lockdown.
I was posted up outside the gym for like for almost a whole week, bro. Like stalking it for like 5-6 hours a day because I was just waiting for somebody to show up.
Anybody.
Yeah, dude. I was like, dude, they're posting videos. They're training here. They got to be here training. And but anyways, I reached out to everybody I could find, tagged in any of the pictures on their Instagram account. And finally, one of them got back and was like, yeah, man, the gym's just shut down. We're moving locations and stuff. We'll be closed for a couple months. But they were like, go train at this other gym, you know, one town down. And anyways, crazy long story. I ended up training down there. A guy that trained there introduced me to Nate because he was friends. And then one day Nate saw me walking on the road and literally was like, yo, what are you doing? You know, just recognized me. It just happened to recognize me from meeting me like 2 or 3 times and picked me up. And then we were going to the new gym where they were moving into. And I helped them unload some stuff. And they were like, yo, we're training here tonight. You want to come back? So that's what ended up getting me to train there, bro.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Hey, that's that SDL hustle too,
Right?
bro. You hear me? Hey, locked in, bro. But no, I mean, you never know where your story might lead, you know. But you got to take the first steps, you know.
Got to take
a lot of people ain't willing to leap. That's the sad part, you know. A lot of people like, man, I don't know if this gonna go right. I don't know if this gonna happen and stuff like that. Don't worry about that because whatever's gonna happen. But take the chance, you know. Go out there and just try to make something happen, right? Because if you feel like you don't want to be in a position where you at, you got to move. That's it.
Yeah.
You just got to move. You got to step up, you know? And I think a lot of people, unfortunately, they still don't know about that type of stories, right? They think once we get in the UFC, we just got it here. We were just blessed, you know? You got to put yourself in a position in order to get these opportunities. And I tell fighters all the time, you can't be scared to do new things or to be uncomfortable, right? It ain't comfortable being in your car, right? Because you had a bed back home, you know what I'm saying, in Hillsborough and in St. Louis, you know, to you know, be around your parents or whatever. But you like, nah, man, I got to figure this out on my own. Like you said, you was out, a whole week just trying to figure out, man, somebody about to walk by this door and do some maintenance around this mother, cut the grass at least, you know what I mean?
Something.
Right? So you stuck to your code, right? Like, hey, bro, until I'm able to find somebody because I need to do this for me, that's how God works, right? And then put you in a position like Diaz, bro, one of the biggest athletes on the planet, you know what I mean? And you in a car with him just chopping it up.
Yeah.
Like people will never believe that if you just take an opportunity, great things can happen, man. So, man, shout out to you, dog, man. Really
Thank you, bro.
Here, dog.
Definitely.
I ain't done nothing yet, man.
One last question, if I may.
Solid foundation is something that me and my brother created, Edrick Dillard. He was in my corner tonight. But you know, the Solid Foundation is a brand that we build together in what we call brick by brick, right? So every brick represents the person that helps build a person up. And I feel that our Solid Foundation is what got us here to this moment, because you cannot build something great without a solid foundation. Because if anything that you build up and you don't have a solid foundation, your whole brand will crumble.